This is Jarrod Horak, and I'm back with my second Kentucky Oaks points race video this week. I took a look at the UAE Oaks in my last video, and now I'm going to do the Rachel Alexandra Stakes in this video. And we're going to dive right into the analysis of this race, and it's going to be the 12th race at Fairgrounds for Saturday, February 18th, 2023. And it's going to be the Grade 2 Rachel Alexandra Stakes. The purse is $300,000. It's for 3-year-old fillies, and they're going to be traveling 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. And the scheduled post time, 6:41 p.m. Eastern. Vaava will break from the inside post. And last time she was my top choice in the untappable. But before that, she was doing pretty well in sprint races, except her debut when she finished 5th, beating 14 lengths. She really improved second time out at 7 furlongs. That was at Saratoga in September. She tracked the pace from an outer post. She took over a clear lead. It looked like she was home free, but Take Charge Brianna ran her down, and she just had to settle for the place that day. She did break her maiden in her next start at Churchill Downs at 7 furlongs, post 11 in a 12-horse field. After breaking 11th, she stalked wide, she took over, and she won by 3 lengths. I was impressed with that effort, and her speed ratings were improving after her first 3 starts, and then I picked her on top in the untappable stakes, but she lost her best chance after she stumbled at the start. It looked like she was going to sit a tactical type trip there, but she lost her position when she stumbled, and she was last early. And then she made a wide, sustained run, and she ended up finishing 3rd. She was beaten almost 9 lengths. She did flatten out a bit, but she was really having that long outside run, and losing that early position really did her in. And she was surprisingly the favorite that day. I wasn't expecting her to be the favorite, but she was. And she didn't run poorly, considering she deserves another chance over a route of ground. It's just possible that she's better as a sprinter. That's certainly a possibility, but she deserves another chance over a route of ground, and her regular rider, Luis Saez, will stay aboard. She's got the inside post, and if she can get out of the gate, I think she can save ground with a tactical type trip. And they pay $280,000 for this daughter of Gunrunner. Hoosier Philly is the one to beat in here. I liked her last time in the Golden Rod, and she did not disappoint. Actually, she didn't disappoint in any of her starts last year. Her 5.5 furlong debut at Churchill, she ended up dominating that one. She stalked from 5th place. She took the lead in the stretch. She won easily by 1 3/4 lengths. She was going away there, and she was the favorite. Second time out, she caught the slop. They stretched her out in distance, so it's not easy. Obviously, the stretch out from 5.5 furlongs to 1 mile and a 16th in just your second career start. And that was a stakes race, and then also in the slop. So she had a lot to overcome there, but she overcame all that. She really dominated that one. She was impressive in her debut, but she was really impressive second time out. She just won as the rider pleased by more than 7 lengths after stalking the pace from the inside post. And then in the Goldenrod, very impressive again. She stalked the pace again. This time it was on a fast track. It was 1 mile and a 16th again, and she was the heavy favorite, and she won by 5 lengths. Geared down, very easy win, and she's one that is just starting her 3-year-old season now. She has 3 bullet workouts at Fairgrounds for this. They paid $510,000 for this daughter of Into Mischief. So Tom Amoss has a good filly on his hands. We're going to see if she's improved from age 2 to 3. Knockyoursocksoff is the next one, and she's number 3 for trainer Chris Block. This one is a daughter of Kitten's Joy, and Flavien Prat's going to ride her, and he did ride second time out. But in her career debut, it was a turf race at Colonial Downs at 1 mile, and she rallied from off the pace. She was 8 lengths back, and she won going away by more than 3 lengths. Second time out, she was in the Juvenile Philly Stakes at Kentucky Downs, and Chop Chop won that one. She made a run from off the pace, but she flattened out. She finished 4th, beating almost 10 lengths. The Grade 2 Jessamine Stakes, Flavien Prat was aboard. She had post 11 in a 12-horse field, and she rallied from 11th place to finish 2nd there. A good solid effort from off the pace. And then last time they moved her over to the main track in the Goldenrod Stakes. She was no match for Hoosier Philly, but she was able to finish a neck in front of Pretty Mischievous, and she was able to get 2nd that day at 24-1 odds. So now she reconnects with Flavien Prat, and she'll try to get involved late. Chop Chop is the next one for trainer Brad Cox, and she's one that's she's had her ups and downs. She won her first 2 races. They were turf routes at 1 mile at Ellis Park and Kentucky Downs, and she did win that Juvenile Phillies turf race that I mentioned, that $500,000 stakes race by a nose second time out. And then she moved over to the main track in that Grade 1 Alcibiades Stakes, and she rallied from 11th place in a 14-horse field to miss by a nose, and she finished right behind 2-year-old Philly champion Wonder Wheel that day. Now, for the Alcibiades, speed was holding. Wonder Wheel got out there and controlled the pace. All the other horses that finished in the money, except for Chop Chop, were all over the pace. So she was the only one making up any ground. And I liked that effort, and I made her my top choice. I thought she was going to offer value in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. She didn't. She was the favorite there, but she ran poorly in that race. She was just so wide throughout, and she just never really got involved. And she finished 13th, beaten 14 lengths. She made her first start in the Silver Bullet Day Stakes this year on January 21st at Fairgrounds. So her first start as a 3-year-old filly, and I made her my top choice there. And somehow she just could not get past her stablemate, the Alley's Look. It just looked like she had every chance in the stretch. She stalked the pace. She came right up there. They were battling in the stretch. She had the length of that long fairground stretch to get by, but she couldn't get by. She was second, beaten a length. She was 13 lengths in front of the rest of the field. And now they're putting blinkers on her, seeing if maybe that will help her focus in the stretch and run a better race. So she's definitely going to have to run better than she did last time. But it was nice that she bounced back after that awful effort in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Finished second last time. She's going to have to run much better here, though, if she expects to compete with these. And it's still possible that she's better on turf. She's 2 for 2 on turf, and she did finish second in 2 of her 3 stakes races on the main track. But we're going to find out more about her in this spot, especially with a filly like Hoosier Philly in there. The next one in line is Pretty Mischievous for trainer Brendan Walsh. This is the daughter of Into Mischief, and she's run 4 times, but she hasn't done anything wrong. 3 wins and a second. 3 wins and a third, excuse me. She won her first 2 starts at 6.5 and 7 furlongs. Second time out was in the slop. First time out was on a fast track, and she stalked the pace in both of those races, and she was the favorite both times. And then she ran into Hoosier Philly in the Goldenrod Stakes, and she was beaten 5 lengths. But she came back and she flattered that filly when she came back, and she won the Untappable Stakes from the inside post, stalking the pace, and she won by more than 3 lengths. And then the Alley's Look was the runner up there, and she came back and she won the Silver Bullet Day Stakes. So Pretty Mischievous is certainly one that hasn't done a lot wrong. She's got good tactical speed, and she's a contender in here. And then Miracle could be the one to catch for trainer Todd Pletcher. This is a New York bred, a daughter of Mendelssohn. They paid $360,000 for her, and she's run 4 times with a win, 2 seconds, and a third, all against New York bred company. 6 furlong debut on a fast track at Saratoga. She won by 6 lengths. Second time out, stakes race in the slop at Saratoga. She ended up finishing 3rd, beaten 5. And then in back-to-back races in New York bred stakes company, she finished 2nd in the Joseph Gimma. That was on September 23rd. Then a Maid of the Mist at 1 mile around 1 turn. She set the pace. She finished 2nd by a length. She was adding blinkers that day. The winner and show finisher were both next out winners. Flavian Pratt rode her in all of her starts, but he's on Knock Your Socks Off in here. So John Velasquez will get aboard for trainer Todd Pletcher, and look for her to be forwardly placed in here. Her first start around 2 turns. There's not a ton of early speed in this race, and I think that she's going to be one from that outside post that they're going to probably want to try to get right out there. So none of these horses are slouches. They're all decent fillies, but the one that stands out, at least it looks like it on paper, is number 2, Hoosier Philly. I won't go against the favorite in here. I just think she showed a lot last year, and she really won easily. And there's a chance that they think maybe she could get on the road to the Kentucky Derby. We'll have to see if they end up going in that direction. They don't really know what they're going to do yet. They want to see what she does in this spot first. But she was super impressive last year in her 3 wins, and she's got that good tactical speed to just work out a very good trip in this race. And she's training well for this, and she's not going to offer any value, but she is certainly the one to beat. So Hoosier Philly, my top choice, will not make a win wager on her. I will play a one-way exacta with Hoosier Philly over number 1, Vaava. I want to give that one another chance around 2 turns. I liked her last time, but she stumbled at the start and just blew her best chance. And I think she could have been much closer with a better trip. So if she can break cleanly and get that good ground-saving tactical trip, maybe she can follow Hoosier Philly home and complete the exacta. And then I'll play one other wager. I'll play the Hoosier Philly on top in a trifecta key, and I'll key her over number 1, Vaava, and number 4, Chop Chop. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this content, And that will wrap up this video. I'll be back and I'm going to be taking a look at the Risen Star Stakes, a Kentucky Derby points race for my final video this week. Until I see you then, good luck at the races.